Welcome once again. And of course, just as we have conversations across the African continent, we would also like to throw in just a little spice of what's going on across the world. And that's why we've invited, once again, Joe Hansen. Morning, Joe.
Thanks, guys. Good morning. Good morning, Africa. And of course, it's time for us to leave the shores of Africa or the continent. And let's check out what's happening outside of the continent. And this time, we're taking you straight to the first stop. The biggest and most talked about story right now across the world is the news concerning United States Speaker. I'm talking about Nancy Pelosi, who is currently in Taiwan for a high-stakes visit, despite warnings from Biden administration officials about China's potential reaction. Now, China said the visit would have a severe impact on U.S.-China relations and announced the launch of exercises and targeted military operations around Taiwan in response. As you can see on the screen there, without further ado, China decided to go ahead and ensure that they beef up their security. And by the way, Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen also spoke about visiting the president and not forgetting to talking deeply with Pelosi. Now, Pelosi said she wants to make it unequivocally clear that the U.S. will not abandon Taiwan. Pelosi's visit, the first by House Speaker to the island since 1997, which approximately makes it 25 years, is part of an Asia tour by a congressional delegation that stopped in Singapore. And of course, she also went to Malaysia with plans to go to South Korea and not forgetting to Japan. But China is not happy about her moves, and they're saying that they are going to take action. There will be consequences of her action. The video you see on the screen are protesters who indeed heard that she was coming through, and they were not in any way happy about her visit. So they kept on chanting and saying that she needs to leave. Meanwhile, let's also tell you that Taiwan's president struck a defiant tone as she hosted U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi with a furious China gearing up for military exercises dangerously close to the island's shores in retaliation for the visit. Pelosi landed in Taiwan on Tuesday despite a series of increasingly stark threats from Beijing, which views the island as its territory and had said it would consider the visit a major provocation. Well, China has responded swiftly, warning the U.S. ambassador in Beijing of extremely serious consequences and announcing military drills around Taiwan. And the military drills have actually started. Well, let's take a listen to what Pelosi had to say as part of the conversation she had with the president right there in Taiwan.
We are supporters of the status quo and the rest. We don't want anything to happen to Taiwan by force. We have to show the world, and that's one of the purposes of our trip, to show the world the success of the people of Taiwan, their courage to change their own country to become more democratic, goodwill, and again, the demonstration of a democracy that has.
And that's exactly what's going on right now, and it's still sparking a lot of outrage there in China. China have come out tough to say U.S. should expect what they will get any moment from now. So everyone is indeed watching, and we are indeed looking, and definitely will give you an update on that story as it goes concerning the visit of the speaker. Well, let's move on now away from United States, not too far away, but of course still stories circling around the United States of America. This time we'll take you to Russia, where Russia has accused the United States of direct involvement in the Ukraine war as the first ship carrying Ukrainian grain to world markets since Moscow's invasion continued its passage to Lebanon without problems. Moscow said it was responding to comments by Vadim Skibitsky, who is Ukraine's deputy head of military intelligence, about the way Kiev used U.S.-supplied long-range HIMARS rocket launch systems based on what he called excellent satellite imagery and real-time information. Well, Skibitsky told the United Kingdom's Telegraph newspaper there was consultation between U.S. and Ukrainian intelligence officials before attacks, and that Washington had an effective veto on intended targets, though he said U.S. officials were not providing direct targeted information. Now, that sparks a lot of conversation as well. Well, there was no immediate reaction to the defense ministry's allegations from the White House or Pentagon. And this is one thing that has indeed made everyone to wonder. What is Russia indeed saying? Well, it's clear. Russia is saying that the United States are indeed involving themselves in the war, the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine. And this was made clear, especially when you are about to attack a country. And all of a sudden, you find out that every move you make is indeed premeditated or has indeed been noticed. And they wonder, how is it possible that the Ukrainians are indeed having real-time footage and they can actually see? Well, Skibitsky made a lot of comments that I think has indeed proven that there could be a link between what the United States is doing with Ukraine and so much more. But these are the stories coming from outside Africa that we can take right now. 1 o'clock, that's the time. You will join us here on the News Central. We'll bring to you more stories outside of Africa, and you will get the latest, I'm sure, follow-up story concerning the visit of Nancy Pelosi as well. Back to you, Osauge, and of course, Olive.
All right, absolutely. And looking forward to seeing how this plays out on the international scene with the different narratives concerning the United States involvement, first of all with Ukraine and, Russia, and then now with Taiwan and China. But of course, 1 o'clock, viewers would have a better understanding of why these things are happening this way. Thanks very much, Joe.
Thanks for having me. See you guys in the next hour.